Ringville episode, Jorge Santi. Hey everyone, how you doing? My name is Kevin Herrera Sanchez, KHS, and welcome to another episode of Ringville. Today I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with someone who has over 20 years of experience. You've seen him wrestle for Battleclub Pro, We Are Wrestling, AWA Wrestling, Ring of Honor, AW, and many more. He's one of the head coaches at Fallout Shelter, the Inner City King, Jorge Santi. How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey,
Good.
First take, I'm just saying.
I'm good, sir. Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you very much for coming out here.
Thank you. I love your product, by the way. It's really good. You really enlighten a lot of the wrestlers on the scene and behind and underground as well.
Like that's really the goal here.
Yeah.
It's like putting a spotlight on them and just growing that connection between the person and the audience.
I think it's great.
Thank you. One of the first things I wanted to just kind of pick your brain about was with someone with over 20 years of experience in the indie scene, right? How have you seen the wrestling landscape changed throughout the years?
A lot, right? So when I first started, like Ring of Honor style wrestling was frowned upon.
Okay.
So don't be like them. They have no psychology. Don't be like them. They'll do anything they'll go through the table in the first match and like, all right, well.
Was that the term where like spot monkey started to like kind of come?
Yes. Okay. A little after.
Okay.
I would say probably 2 years in, like 2006, I started hearing Spot Monkey.
Okay. I
was like, oh, okay. The landscape changed from that type of style, but also you saw the attitude. I was watching the Attitude Era before I went to pro wrestling.
Okay.
Then you got the Ruthless Aggression, where also coincided with Ring of Honor. So Ring of Honor would have their style where it was just beat downs. It's very Japanese style.
Because you have like people like Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson.
All the guys are legends.
Yeah.
To this day, I watch them.
Right.
And I'm like, oh man, that's so good. Yeah. Their style was more it was kind of like how ECW was back in the 90s where everybody frowned upon ECW. That was Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Back in 2004 to 2010. And then all of a sudden they got TV and they started, kind of emulating what WWE was doing for its time as well.
Right.
How to put butts in seats, how to make, people watch you more by talking, by wrestling, by anything, by vignettes.
It was more of a spectacle.
Yes. So they made it more of a spectacle, yeah. Even though it was a spectacle, every match was a spectacle in Ring of Honor.
Incredible matches.
But that was that. Then it slowly started changing into, you wouldn't say storytelling yet, but it was more of a psychology based from like 2004 to 2000, to now, right? But every now and then you'll get a taste of what the indies were on TV. So you'll get the Penta, where he does the Mexican Destroyer.
Yeah.
You'll get a ton of like countless super kicks out of nowhere. That's the indies right there. You know what I mean?
But it's like spots that are just like loved.
That's why they do them. Yeah. It's an eye opener. It keeps you off your phone.
Yeah.
So every time you hear a slap, you're looking around like that. So you keep them alert and stuff because back then in 2012, the attention span was 13 seconds.
Okay.
Now it's depleted to 6 to 4 seconds.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I myself is one.
I'm over here like, where's my phone? So, but the culture in itself, it changed a lot. You can see it from casting calls. Like, all right, well, am I good enough? No, you need to be 6 feet. Oh, damn, I'm only 5'11", damn. And then when I finally grew to 6 feet, I'm like, am I ready now? No, you have to be like this. I'm like, all right.
Okay.
So it's more of a casting call now. Gotcha. I tell the students, hey, you got to be crazy and beautiful to do this. So you got to be beautiful to look good doing this, and you got to be crazy to do this also. So
you're either one of the two, right?
Yes. If you're crazy, by all means, there's a look to it. If you're beautiful, by all means, there's a look to it too.
If you got that perfect bit of both, though,
I'd say you're making your money.
Do you think the change in that makes it more difficult for students now who are trying to get into the wrestling business?
No, it's taught. You know what I mean? Like I always, I can keep referring back to the students. What we learn in our school is the discipline for our school.
Okay.
Now, if you get signed, you're going to be like, who's Coach Santi? Because I want you to be like, who's Coach Santi? Because you got the fundamentals in you, but by all means, you got to be coachable. So if you go over there, that's it.
Right.
All right, come out the Pokeball. Go on now. Go into the woods.
Yeah.
You know, find your way. You know, so it's just taught.
Yeah.
That style is taught. You go to AEW, you know, you watch how they work, and you kind of form into who they are.
Yeah.
When you go to WWE, you kind of form into the moments of how they are. Ring of Honor, same thing. NWA, same thing.
Yeah.
Very old school, very elaborate, very telegraphic. But you know, it's just that's their style of pro wrestling.
Right. And then you think that the competitiveness of like today, where even when it comes to like the social media and branding yourself on social media, you think that makes it harder or easier for students compared to the time in the early 2000s where it's like you didn't really have any of that?
No, it's easier now. It's easier now because you could just tap away. If you have a following, everybody could just repost you. Back then we had MySpace.
Yeah.
I had MySpace at the time, but I
had
wasn't
a
even...
fake MySpace.
Yeah. My MySpace was like my high school MySpace into when I became a wrestler. But even that was like, my drama was all up on that when I was like, I had a teenage drama on that stuff.
Yeah.
But nowadays you could do a professional one where it's just, and you have Instagram and you got people that like what you do, so you know how to solely influence people. How to, hey, I like being a wrestler one day, this and that. I like what you do. You do the kettlebells? Yeah. Oh, you, I saw that you did this move and stuff, and now you're slowly influencing other people with your moves and stuff. I with social media, I believe social media makes it a lot easier to go out there and show what you're worth. I remember I would do auditions, and they would tell you how many followers you have. It was auditions for like TV and movies and stuff. And I'm like, much followers. Yeah. But in the underground scene, I have a lot of followers. But it's not, you know, they book it as that. And I think slowly that's how, you know, wrestling's going to slowly be, is how many followers you have? All right, well, we have a tryout here. We want to see what you got. Yeah, because like even WWE now is with their like Next in Line program and just like getting college athletes. Like those people have huge followings outside of wrestling already. But also they're in a win-win state of mind. So it's diamond in the rough. You're gonna get someone like Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley. You're gonna get someone like Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, where they knew how to shine somebody because they knew how to play the game in pro wrestling. There's a game in pro wrestling, how to shine somebody. You got these collegiate wrestlers. Hey, buddy, you gotta lose today. I'm not losing. I don't never lose. What is this? What am I doing? I don't lose. I play baseball. I play basketball. I'm a winner, bro. They don't know how to shine people properly, or they feel a little guilty that they have to, you know, take a three. And you see it in their face. You can see it in their gestures, and you get a diamond in the rough when you get collegiate wrestlers coming into something where, all right, well, I'm not making abstract money, like a crazy money in amateur wrestling. Let me go to professional wrestling where there is money there because they know how to market a character. Right. Then you go there and you can't hack it because, wait a second, I'm a winner. I don't lose to nobody. You put the ego to the side. They don't know how to put the ego. Some of them don't know how to put the ego to the side. So that's why they have trouble, and sometimes they leave, and sometimes they, you know, what do you do with that, you know? What was it like navigating the wrestling world for you when you first started? All right, when I first started, it was, I started in 2004. It was, I had an amateur wrestling background in high school. When I first started. I got in contact with Johnny Rods, the World of Unpredictable Wrestling out in Dumbo, in Brooklyn. And they were Gleason's Gym, world famous Gleason's Gym. It was all hand-me-down knowledge. So what he does is he teaches his top guys, and his top guys will teach you. And then you slowly become the top guy, and you teach, and it's just trickle down. And sometimes you just find a groove. Well, little did I know that not only was I don't want to be cocky about it, but not only was I good at wrestling, I was good at coaching it and teaching it. So when I first started, I would go and travel all over to find my way. My trainer, his name is Ricky Vega. He taught me how to be very smooth and fluent with it. I had another trainer, Mike Gallagher. He taught me how to wrestle without talking. Just mannerisms and vibes and just, and you would have to telegraph, but then little by little, he'd be like, all right, you're telegraphing, but try not to telegraph it. So it's oxymoron. That's an interesting number. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if I go on like this, know that you're going for something that I want you to go for, and you have to feel it out and know that I have to make it look like I'm not supposed to take it, which I tell my students, they know it, beautiful mistakes. It's taken. You take it beautifully, but it's a mistake taking it. Like you know what's happening when it's not supposed to be.
And it's just all through that physical communication.
Yes. So like when you go out to the ring, you see your opponent in the ring. Don't look at him like we just called something. Don't look at him like you're gonna have a beer later. Look at him like he's taking food off your plate.
Right.
Because
that's what's happening.
Yeah. Money's taken out of your pocket if you lose. And now you have to look at him as such. So after that, I would go to Florida, and he was Machete. He was one of the first members of LAX at the time in TNA. Oh, nice. And he did like probably 3 stints with them, and then they took him off, and he wound up doing the indies anyways after. But he taught me how to be more fluid in the ring and very smooth with it, where Eddie Guerrero saw him one time because of this. It looks too good. You got to have a little more roughness too. Sometimes yeah, exactly. He's like, you look too polished. It looks too clean. You got to be a little rough with it. Yeah. You know, you can't make it look like it just flows easy in pro wrestling. Which is
then it
beautiful.
seems kind of staged.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
it's beautiful knowledge that was handed me down from the man, the myth, the legend. Right. I went to Florida, and I learned psychology there. Okay. That was the first time I ever dappered in. Like, all right, so I don't do a DDT out of nowhere. So you mean to tell me I didn't do a scoop slam and then jump off the top rope into a Swanton bomb? And no, you gotta set it up. You gotta. But what if I want to, like, then you slowly learn, wait, you can't just go for the kill. What makes people care more is the delayed gratification of it. Okay. So you're going for it, but somehow it was foiled. And then the payoff later on, if there is any. Like me, now that I'm older, I don't have to hit all my moves. I've done that mindset where I got to get my shit in, bro. I got to get my shit in, bro. You hear it all the time. It's kind of like, all right, I'm not an angry vet because I was that guy. Yeah. But you have to be coachable, or you have to learn from a vet saying, hey man, try not to do the spine buster in the 2 minutes of the match. Try to add up into that big move at the end. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, well, if you don't want to take the move, you could have told me. I was like, it's not about not taking the move. It's about
the psychology.
Yeah, you got to build up into it. So this way it looks more devastating towards the end. All right, so growing up through, sorry, I sprayed around.
No, go ahead.
So after that, I would just go and travel around, and then I would do the indies, and that was against Johnny Rods. Johnny was a type, he don't want you doing indies. Okay. Because, you know, you're his talent, and also, you know, a lot of the guys that would go out there will never come back because it's a superstar mindset. You got all these promoters telling you, hey, good job. Good job. You know, like, Johnny don't tell me that. Johnny don't have to tell you that. He just, you know, he gives you the tools to be better. So you get good job to everybody that you've seen. Oh, you know, I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna put you as champion. Yeah. Well, Johnny's not putting me as champion in his school. What the? How come I could be champion here? Then you don't show up. Yeah. Now, I've had students that have done that, where they go out and they make a name for themselves, they're doing good, but they stop coming to class. And I'm like, you done with us? Or, well, you know, I feel like, you know, all right, well, you feel like it, but I can name 40 different things you did wrong in your match just now. So you're never done learning. And till this day, I'm 21 years in, I'm never done learning. Right. I'm always reconstructing something. I have to make sure I'm perfect all the time. Or not perfect, but, you know, it's that I don't look tired in there. I don't look like I'm 21 years in. You know what I mean? Because when you start looking like you're 21, when you start looking your age, your career age, and you know, you look at those boots and like, all right, time to burn them. So, but just growing through it is just, I would do the tryouts for Ring of Honor. I would get seen. They would tell me, you know, can you do the pay-per-view? Can you do the what do you call it, dark match for the pay-per-view? Can you do live television? And I'm like, oh, sure, yeah, of course, I'll do it. Yeah, I want to be seen. I like you guys. Yeah, you know. And then I had the tryouts with WWE, and then, you know, Edge, you're good, kid. Promos, we have to work on them. Okay, by all means. I have a stuttering problem, or like I slur my words. I have too much of a Brooklyn accent. Very Neanderthalish. Well, you know, put that in your promos. That's fine. Like, oh, I can't even think right now. All right, yeah, maybe I get it. Yeah, I can do that too. Right. And show my flaws in my words. But yeah, you get tons of people and you take the feedback. And I never hone any knowledge. I give it out to the ones that really need it. Yeah. That deserve it. that work hard for it or were hungry as me. You know, the generation's changed now, so.
Like you said, you have to be coachable, right?
Yes.
I think another phrase is you have to be kind of like a blob of clay, and you have to be moldable by
Yes.
people, because most of the time when you're getting advice, it's in your best interest,
Yes.
right? Like, and for you, was there a time where you were kind of struggling with that, where you maybe did have that sense of like, oh, I just know this, and then I just want to wrestle?
When I was just doing shows, it was because I just knew what I wanted, but it wasn't because of what I wasn't learning. Whatever I would learn, I would try to put into my matches.
Okay.
So this way I was working on it in real time in front of a crowd. And if it didn't work out, I'm like, all right, back to the drawing board. All right. And then I would also dapper with ideas of how to get over not only myself, but if I was a heel, but if I was a babyface. All right. So I heard Bubba say this. As a face, you want them to name their firstborn after you.
Okay.
As a heel, you want them to slice your tires. By the time you come back to your car, your tires are sliced. I like to think of it like this. When it comes to babyface and heels, if I'm becoming a heel, if I'm a babyface, I want to be the heel that I wanted as a face. So I would be a ring general. I would guide my face around. I would get them sympathy. I would get them something that all eyes on him. Right. You know, I'll tell them, sometimes it's okay to stay hit. If you're beat up a little bit, stay hit, because they want you to come back. Right. So when you keep getting hit, like, fight back. Why is this guy not fighting back? All of a sudden he pops you in the face. Oh shit.
Right. And it's like a grab of the attention.
Yeah, you want that. It's okay to stay hit a little bit, because you need that sympathy. Make eye contact with them, right? It's all a psychology thing when it comes in there, and it's experience.
Where did the moniker of Inner City King come from?
All right, Inner City King came from Zoo York skateboards.
Oh.
Yeah. So I originally named myself the Firebird, Jorge Santi.
The Firebird?
Yeah, I was very big on Rising as a Phoenix. I was very fire-like when I fought back finally.
Babyface Fire.
Babyface Fire, that's why I'm the Firebird. When I left, I was always pandering on an idea of being a city slicker, because I'm a city boy. I'm born and raised in New York, Brooklyn. I went to school in New York City. I work in New York City. I bounced in New York City. I've done everything you could think of. I've drank in New York City, fought in New York City. So what better person, right? My dad was raised in Coney Island. My mom was raised in Red Hook. They met him, they came down to Bensonhurst. So now I have this whole, inner city king. So I saw them, they were skateboarding, they called themselves the Inner City Kings. And I was like, wow, because I'm a skateboarder as well.
Oh, nice.
Well, I used to.
You used to, right?
All right, if I do it now, I won't hurt myself, but I'll be very, very sore. And I thought, that's a cool name, the Inner City Kings. Because honestly, the way I told, I don't look very Inner City King-like or kid-like. The king part is more, I'm not majesty, I'm not royalty, it's just I'm really good at it. And sometimes the kings don't have to tell you what to do, they could just be the baddest motherfuckers in the room. That monarchy just explains who I am. I'm an inner city kid, and I'm a king at what I do. Yeah. I'm one of the kings in pro wrestling, because there's so many out there, but I'm one of them as well. And yes, I'm self-proclaimed, but the problem is when you're self-proclaimed and people believe it, other than you, I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing something right, and good. Yeah, all that hard work didn't go in vain.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think just like I've had others from like the Fallout Shelter and Battleclub Pro, and I will say, like, whenever your name is brought up in conversation, they always have like incredible, nice things to say. You're someone who is like very well respected in the industry that you're in, which is like I think also just says a lot about who you are as a person.
Yeah.
How much does that mean to you?
That means I never thought about it like that. It was a couple of wrestlers now that you see nowadays. Hey Santi, I just want to let you know, I grew up watching you. I'll say that. I get the grades. I know I have it on me and stuff, but it was more of I still go when people tell me that. I feel like it's honoring, because I left pro wrestling, so when I came back and people still remembered, it's like, all right, well, at least,
you left an impact.
I left an impact on a lot of people. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as, people that you see on the indies saying, "Hey man, I grew up watching." I'm like, "Oh man, I'm not even famous." Like, you usually tell somebody that, like Taker or like Undertaker or like a Shawn Michaels, "I grew up watching you," or the Hardy Boys, "I grew up watching you." Yeah, I hear it all the time, kid. So it's honoring. You know, I like it.
You're also one of the head coaches.
Yes.
At the Fallout Shelter. How did that come to be?
So I have he's kind of like a relative, Osito. He's Osito. He's a relative of mine, and he was like, "Hey, there's a new school around. Do you want to come train with me?" I was like, I haven't wrestled in like 4 years. I left pro wrestling, and I was like, "All right, you know what? Dust off the old. I got this."
Put the boots back on.
Yeah. So we go, and Joe Kim was running in and stuff, and I was watching them coach and train. It was Masha Samovich, women's champion. Good job, girl.
For TNA, absolutely, yeah.
And Mike Law. And I was just watching the classes. I just felt inspired to teach them also and stuff and put my 2 cents in, even though, you know, it's their gig. But I just felt, and they actually gave me the floor a couple of times. And I was like, and I started again feeling that love for it again. But it was like,
okay.
It was one of those weird heartbeats where it's like, it's growing, but it's dying down.
Yeah,
it's growing, dying down.
Yeah, it's like not fully committed, but it's there. Like.
Yeah. So I don't know if I could tap into this again, but it was fun doing it. And then I had the itch again a little bit. I was like, all right, let me go. So I went again. And then I was like, hey man, if you guys want, I could help teach you, you know, coach here and stuff. But it's totally, they're like, oh no, we have a staff, thanks. I was like, all right, no problem. Don't care. Like a week later, hey, we want to talk to you if you come in. I came in and I was like, you're coach. I was like, okay, cool.
All right, yeah.
When do I start? And I started just teaching, and I just missed it. I was damn, because it's like playing a video game. Hey, do it like this, and then you watch them do it the right way. I'm like, all right, yes, I won. You know, it's one of those things. Or you just live vicariously through these kids that are young and hungry, and then you slowly like, damn, I remember you being like that. That's all right. That's good for them. Yeah. And then little by little, I was like, I can still be like that. Then you start getting jealous and stuff. Like, no, wait, I still got it.
That's still me.
I'm back, baby. And then just slowly I started getting into the wrestling again. And then I started polishing my crafts and like what I used to do back in the old days. And I was like, all right, I gotta change it up because I can't be doing Firebird stuff. That's like 15-year-old stuff right there, you know? And I just started recreating another person, the Inner City King. Tough guy, leaves all his talk in the ring. You know, practices violence.
You look like someone who can fuck you up. Like.
It's the face. I'm a nice guy.
No, you also do. And then, so what are like, when you're teaching a class and what is some of the like ideas and philosophies that you try to instill into your students?
Well, I tell them when they first come in, it's going to be boring. It's going to be boring. You're going to want to fly, but because when I first started, I wanted to fly. I wanted to. I took my first bump. I was like, oh! I gave away so much money because at the time it was $5.25 an hour at Taco Bell to make the amount of money Johnny Rods wanted me to do for his to pay my dues. Yeah. And when I made that money finally, it felt like, you know, number one, I felt like a millionaire because I had $3,000. I was 17, so $3,000 is a lot of money. And
at that time too, like.
When I took my first bump, I was like, oh man, I gave away all this money just so I could hurt myself for the rest of my life. Right. And then all I would do was roll every day. I was rolling for like 2 months straight. I'm like, am I going to learn anything? And then lo and behold, I'm one of the coaches. And I tell them, you're going to roll. And you're going to keep rolling. You're going to keep rolling and learn how to control your body. Because once you learn how to control your body from a roll, you're less prone for injuries. And you're gonna get dizzy, you're gonna get dizzy because that's part I posted something on TikTok. Why do we roll so much? Yes. And the reason we roll so much is because if I'm giving you arm drag, scoop slam, and then I pick you up again, you counter, give me a drop kick, and then you have to pick me up. How are you not dizzy? It's because you rolled a lot, all right? So you have your equilibrium. You already tested your equilibrium with all the rolls. Yeah. So now it's second nature where you are. Your eyes are not Cookie Monster-like.
I never thought about it in that way.
That's where we roll a lot. You know, it's also discipline, footwork in the ring. You know, there's certain directions we have to go to make sure we're there for the next round of bumps or whatever spot was called. So, but rolls, and then I'll dapper into some rope runs and bumping and just fundamental moves like a snapmare, which is just a nice little bump, bam. You know, scoop slams, higher bumps, kind of like a snapmare, bam. And you just grow into it. And then I tell them, 6 months in, start thinking about a character. Start thinking about who you want to be in this ring. You know, as long as you master your fundamentals, I'll tell them this, like, when all else fails, your fundamentals save your ass, period. And it always worked for me, right? You guys are on the same page, calm it down, grab them, put them in a corner. You know, don't poise and be like, hey, you hit me first. Yeah. That happens a lot. And it's because, and you see it a lot, it's because they don't practice their fundamentals. They don't know what to do when someone's off a page or not seeing eye to eye with you at the moment, you know? So what do? Grab your guy. Pro tip, grab your guy, put him in a corner. Don't look to kill him. Don't look to chop his face off. Don't look to elbow him in the head for CTE because he forgot. Grab him, calm down the situation, tell him to powder out, you know, push away, powder out, and that's it.
Powder out.
Powder out.
Never heard that
Leave the
term.
ring.
Leave the ring?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Powdering out is leaving the ring. Telling you guys a lot of secrets now.
Let's go.
But it's just, you know, basic stuff that none of these kids have nowadays.
You are seen as the vet, right? Does that kind of put like a chip on your shoulder whenever you do take indie bookings outside where it's like, no, I can still go and I can still, like, I'm a coach, yes, but I'm also still a wrestler.
That's so you have the yin and yang of that, right? So you have the, like, I could go, I could show this kid something, but also at the same time, I want to have a nice little match with him. You know what I mean? Like, I went in there probably last year with some like 20-year-old kids. Like, I'm 17 years there. I'm 17 years there vet. So I'm like, ooh, okay, so I could keep up. I know that. Yeah. But it turns out that selling nowadays isn't the thing anymore. It's to get to and from the spot. So I would sell, and they'd be like, "What's he doing? What is that thing he's doing
over here?" Like,
but then I'm the one remembered because I made it more entertaining by selling. That's another thing too. So you got these kids, it's just super kick, spine bust out of nowhere, super kick, and then all of a sudden you have me selling your super kick and walking into another moment, then just running into a spot again. Who's you gonna remember most? Oh, that he was funny how he got hit in the face like that and stuff. You're gonna remember the guy that's selling for the person. Well, hopefully, if you're not bloodthirsty already. I don't have a chip on. I like to create matches. That's one of my things. I'm very big on my exhibition matches. I love to have it. Because I always tell the students that if the pay is not there, make sure you get footage, because the footage could sell you to the right person, to the right scout, to the right promoter, and you probably get double the money that guy wasn't probably giving you in the first place. As long as you have a decent match, a good match, something that you can make people care about. That's another thing too. A lot of people, they have matches, but like give them something. Don't just, because I do this move, I reverse this, I do this. No, give them something to care about. No one gives anybody anything to care about anymore in pro wrestling sometimes. Well, in the indies, there's very few that, you know what, I didn't know I needed that ending. And that's what you want. You want, like I say with Roddy Piper, if you think you know the answers, you change the questions. Right. When you think they know the answers, change the questions on them. And like, I didn't see that coming. Right. You know what? I'm satisfied. I like this match. You give them something they didn't know they wanted. That's what I create with with people newer, lesser, older than me. So, I went in there with Azriel recently, and we're two guys in our 20-year careers, adult careers, and we had fun. We kicked each other's ass, and there was mishaps, but you would never catch it because that's how vetted we are in the system of not showing that something wrong happened in the match. You would never catch it. You used to do professional stuntman work. Yes. For Marvel Universe Live. Yeah. Like, how did all that come to be? So, kind of funny story. Like, that's always a story that happens, right? I was a bouncer in New York City at a bar, and you see, he can fuck you up. A bouncer in New York City at a bar. The staff came in to party. And I was 2 months prior, I was looking to do the auditions for Marvel Universe Live. And so it happened the cast of Marvel Universe Live came to the bar to hang out.
Oh.
So I had to stop them because they had jogging pants on. And you're not allowed to have jogging pants on. And I told them, hey, you guys can't come in. No, we come here all the time. I'm sorry, we just got out of the bus. We're touring. I'm like, oh, yeah, we guys work at Marvel Universe Live. I'm this. Maybe I can make friends with them.
Right.
Lo and behold, I was zoning out of pro wrestling. I left pro wrestling because it was like, I guess it's time. I guess it's time to stop wrestling and stuff. I just faded away. I didn't announce a retirement. I just stopped. And I left.
Irish goodbye wrestling.
Yeah, Irish goodbye. I like those. It's the easiest thing to leave a place.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
So,
right now.
bye. And just walk away. Just sitting there like this. So I talked to the guys and stuff, and the auditions was next month. And I still kept in touch with them. He said, all right, well, tell this so-and-so that, you know me and stuff like that and stuff. So I went there, I did the whole audition, lasted 8 hours. I had a crazy headache because when you fall, you're falling on pads on the concrete floor. And it's not, they're not teaching you how to fall, they're just teaching you how to do certain things. They're assuming you could break your own falls and stuff. The only thing I had was pro wrestling background. It helped me because a lot of people will go outside the blue mats. And because I'm used to wrestling in a ring, in a 16 by 16, 18 by 18, they gave me a choreographed fight of Iron Man versus Captain America, and I kept it within those 2 mats. And they loved it. Everybody else failed. Everybody was hitting the wall, hitting their tables. I'm like, yo, just keep it in the middle.
Right.
It's a joke. When I say that, keep it in the middle. Keep it in the middle. It does help. So I kept everything in the middle, and by all means, they said, hey, they told them, my friends that I made at the bar, he didn't need your help, because honestly, he did a good job. We talked to him, we pulled him aside, told him to grow his hair, we keep him as Bruce Banner and the Lizard.
Oh, okay.
And like a month later, I got a contract in the mail for Marvel Universe Live for a year. And I traveled. If anything, it was pro wrestling's sister. Yeah. It was the gig. The only thing was, it was a track. So a track as an audio track. You're selling the moments off the track. You're not doing anything different. It's already staged. You just got to keep doing it every show. So I learned they flew me out to Florida, and we learned how to do the stuntman, and I learned how to be the Hulk. I learned how to be the Lizard. I would climb down upside down on tethering, 50 feet in the air. Funny story, right? So that's not a funny story. Very eerie story, very cold story. I had to be put up in a cable in Kansas City.
Okay.
You know what Kansas City is, an arena there is where Owen Hart passed away.
Ooh.
So I was up in the rafters, and I'm just like, it's cold up here. It's very quiet. Even with the audience there, I'm like, damn, like this man had his last breath here, and that's crazy. And I'm tethered upside down.
Yeah, that's
in the same kind of, not same kind of way, but like tethered there in that area where he was. And I'm like, wow. This is one of those moments like Owen Hart, man.
Right.
So.
That you just kind of look down.
You're looking down like, making sure everything's right.
For real.
Yeah,
because that's.
So you also fathom, you're 50 feet in the air. So like you're upside down 50 feet and like.
That's head first.
If I fall, can I tuck this way? What if I bounce off the, I'll break my back. So now you do the calculations, you have all these avatars in your head of like, what if I lay this way? So.
But it's like the reality is like,
But that was, you lived in your suitcase. You were going hotel to hotel. They paid your flight, your hotel, your travel, everything, except for food. But it was pro wrestling's brother, and then we were trailing SmackDown at the time too. So all my SmackDown friends would hit me up. Hey, I know you're on the show. Can you give me tickets? Oh, I'm here for this date. We're in the next town. And so enough, we went to the next town. They just left the next town. So we were going back and forth at the arenas. And it was cool to be a part of an arena show and stuff.
Right.
Anytime I'm backstage, like if I'm WWE doing extra work or AEW and stuff, I'm like, damn. I kind of like, I miss that lifestyle of just being who I am. Like I was never like, hey, give me this, give me that. I was always like very humble. I was shaking everybody's hand and stuff. And I just loved it there. I was told Kevin Feige, he looks over everything. So he would say, yeah, he looks like the Hulk. Look at his nose. I'm like, all right, there we go. So apparently I was,
He looks like the Lizard.
I was okay because my face looks like the Hulk.
That's funny as hell. You mentioned working arena shows, and then you've also have done work for AEW.
Yes.
What was that experience like for you?
That was my first match back.
That's
It was
great.
kind of full circle too.
That's great.
Yeah, I had someone on the inside I grew up in the business with. He's one of the head writers there, and he said, "Hey, just let me know." I was okay, and I felt like I was all right. So he put me in, he got me in, and I didn't know I had a match. I wasn't booked, and then someone pulled out last minute, and they put my name in.
Okay.
So I'm over here eating a chicken, and the guy said, "Hey, you're my tag team partner." I'm like this. Taking out the food out of my mouth.
Wiping the hands.
Yeah. All right, let's go. And I got changed, and that was my first match back after leaving for 4 years. Wow. It was in the Prudential Center. And the funny part was I grew up watching the Hardy Boys, and Matt Hardy was he wasn't in the match, he was on the outskirts.
Because that's when
Private party, sorry.
Private party, yes. Wow, first match back.
Yeah, that was my first match back ever. Yeah, since 4 years, since I left in late 2017.
And then that was 2021.
Yeah.
How has your mindset been from this second go at wrestling?
Cautious.
Cautious?
Yeah, sometimes I do stupid mistakes, and I'm like, damn, should never let a guy. I want to wrestle some guys. Yeah, I do power bombs. All right. Well, it's easy for me to bump on him, but when it's not easy for me not to bump when the guy's not really putting the power bomb on you and just makes your head hit the mat awkwardly. I'm like, all right, should never give my body for that one. Too old to be doing this now. It's one of those things. I have to have trust. You know what I mean? Because I still want to come home. I want my brains in my head.
That's a reasonable request.
Yeah, So I'm more moments now than moves. And that's a big thing.
And that must have impacted the way you actually wrestle as well.
Yes.
How is now your style different?
Yeah, because I would put moments in, but I wouldn't make it the whole thing.
Okay.
It would be moves and then set up something for a crowd to follow, like where's this going, and then finish. Now it's, he got him. Oh, now he's telling him what he is about. Now he's going to give him the business, and now you get more of a theatric with me. Okay. I sometimes they tell me, hey, sometimes you wrestle too TV like. I was like, that's not a problem either.
Right. Exactly.
But I get it. I get it. So I have to indie it up a little bit sometimes.
What are some of your proudest accomplishments that you had in your career?
No, doing the tryouts, right? When I did the trial in WWE, that was a big accomplishment because that was the first time I ever noticed and I saw being persistent in real time. Okay. I would send emails out from 2011 all the time, and then 2014 I get an email from one of the people there in WWE, and hey, we're gonna give you a tryout file. I'm like, fucking fine. I did it.
Wow, right.
I fucking did it. It works. It works.
Yeah.
I would just send out on a whim. All right, whatever. On a Sunday, a lazy Sunday, all my stuff.
Yeah.
Not hear anything. Don't care. And out of nowhere, I just get an email. Hey, we're interested in you. Come on down. The tryout I had was with Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens, Roderick Strong. Anybody you see that was on top tier in Ring of Honor from 2011 to 2015 was in that roster with me. But during that time, it was just persistence, and I was so proud of that. Then coming back and wrestling for AEW in front of a full crowd. And the funny part is I wasn't nervous as I should have been because I was so used to arena crowds because of Marvel.
Right.
So Marvel would be packed houses, and I would go in there I would be nervous there, and then I finally said, all right, well, I got this. This is
familiar ground.
This is familiar grounds, and it's up my alley. I'm not going into anything unknown unless someone gets hurt, And being a coach is I'm very proud of. Because now I get to see people in real time, going out there, and they show me their matches, and they're cringy, and I'm like, I like it. Really? I was like, well, there's a lot of work to be done, but I like it.
Right.
You're being brave enough to be creative. You're being brave enough to test the waters. You're being brave enough to try something different.
Yeah.
If you just keep the format and just be basic and just be another tree in the forest, I'm like, all right, well, what do you want out of this? Right? Wrestling's abstract. And that's why I hate when people go like, no, you have to do it like this because I seen it like this. It's okay if they go outside the bubble of what you're so used to being taught.
Right.
You know, when it comes to fundamentals, be like that because fundamentals save your ass. And there's a certain way of doing things in pro wrestling where you have to
Have that.
Yeah. But when you want to test the waters and be entertaining, I don't care. Be funny. Be serious. Be outrageous. Be interesting. You know, when you're not interesting, that's when I'm like, all right, so what's your deal? Write down some ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like it? I don't like it. It's not that I don't like it. It's more of a, where can I connect? Because I feel like you call the match without the crowd knowing that, you know, like, have a little wiggle room to look at them. Have a little wiggle room to, if you kick somebody, just flaunt. Don't just go to the next thing.
Right.
You know, when you stop moving, they start talking. You know, so.
Wow, man.
Little jumps. Kobeing at you.
That's for real. I call it the. But man, thank you very much for taking the time.
No,
to
man,
out with me.
it was fun.
It was a great
Thank you.
conversation.
Memory lane, a lot of memory lane there.
For sure. Anything you want to plug to the cameras?
Jorge Santi, you look me up, Jorge Santi versus the Inner City King Santi. You'll see it. I'll be there. Like, subscribe, follow, hit whatever you want to be interested in to see me more.
All of those links will also be in the description below, so you can also just find them right there. Well, man, thank you very much. Have an awesome time.
Thank you.
Until next time, everybody, we out.